Welcome,
Hello.
welcome, welcome.
Hey, good to see
Welcome
you
to the
again.
show.
Good to see
Yeah,
you.
all right. Well, I kind of teased it a little bit about what we'll be talking about. Well, Raj, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself and let you introduce what we'll be talking about today.
Thank you. Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Dheeraj Mehta. I'm a senior product manager at AWS, and I'm a product owner for AWS Artifact, which is a console service.
Yeah, so
Very
tell
cool.
tell us more about AWS Artifact. What is it, and why
Yeah.
should we care?
Yeah, absolutely. So, AWS Artifact is basically a service that allows customers to access AWS's compliance content. We also recently made available compliance content of marketplace sellers on AWS Artifact. So, here you can access compliance reports like SOC 1, SOC 2, PCI, ISO. So, the different certifications that AWS goes through, customers can easily come and on demand download those from Artifact. The other thing customers can do here is they can sign, select online agreements with AWS Artifact at on AWS Artifact. So,
So,
for
like a
example,
BAA or something like that. Okay.
here we go. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So, business associated addendum or data breach notifications addendum. So these are some compliance agreements that customers can, uh, yeah, accept or terminate with AWS. And I'll talk a little bit about the new feature that we have just launched last week.
Yeah, I hear it's something about getting some notice of certain changes. Why don't you tell us a
Yeah,
little bit more about that?
yeah. So this is one of the very popular requests that we were hearing from our customers. Um, our customers have to keep coming back to the service, check on, hey, is that SOC report available? Hey, is
Mm-hmm.
that PCI report available? Like they keep coming and checking for that. It's just a distraction, waste of their time,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm.
So it's important that they don't have to come back. We actually reach out to them, right?
Right.
So what we did was we launched a notifications feature on Artifact. And with this feature, customers can subscribe to notifications, and they can set their preferences on what type of notifications they would like to get, where on which email addresses those notifications should go, and with those setups, then they will start receiving notification on the content that is of interest to them, and then that can help them uh, unblock their workflows immediately as soon as the content is available.
Yeah, that's
Very
that's
cool.
awesome. So you're saying the problem that this solves is rather than them having to log onto the console, go to AWS Artifact, hunt and peck for, whichever attestations or compliance postures they need to demonstrate to their auditor, they basically are just going to get a push notification to their email.
Right, exactly. Yeah. If like previously, if they were, we made our SOC report available on a certain date, but they didn't come back for like 10 days, that means they lost 10 days in
Mm,
using that information, right?
right.
So so with this, it will be more like, hey, they get an update as soon as the document becomes available.
Mm. Super interesting. Um, I heard you say like subscription. Can you talk a little bit about the difference between a subscription and configuration?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So so there are two steps into the process, and I actually have a demo as well, so I'll go there. So the two steps in the process are subscribing to notifications, which is more of a global setting in the Artifact service. It means customers are now once they subscribe, customers have opted in to Artifact service sending them notifications.
Mm-hmm.
But then configuration means that customers can set their preferences, right? They can choose which categories of reports they would like to get notified on. They can choose whether they want notifications on agreements. They can choose. They can also add provide specific email addresses on which the notifications should be sent. So configuration is a means to set their preferences, and then there are customers can create multiple configurations, right? If they want different types of notifications to be going to different users, then
Mm-hmm.
that can help them.
Yeah, so that way they're not getting a whole bunch of chatty messages about compliance, posture that they might not be interested in. They're only getting what's really relevant to their group in the company, correct?
Absolutely. That's
Okay.
right.
Yeah. I know we're always at AWS working backwards from the customer. At a high level, I mean, you don't have to mention names or anything. Can you talk a little bit about how customers are using this? I'm assuming they're using this to build automated systems. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So right now, with this is our initial launch, and at this launch, we have targeted customers who come to the console to download the content. So we will continue to enhance this product moving forward. So right now it is primarily focused on the customers who are coming to the console and have a need to download a document manually, but downstream, we there is a huge opportunity.
So kind of expanding the whole mode of compliance as code, right? And then
Right.
having it be like an event driven process. So that way, like when you're preparing for an auditor to evaluate your compliance attestations and everything else, it's kind of in one singular place rather than all over the place, which is kind
Yes.
of the current state of affairs for most customers, right?
Right.
Um, okay, I had a question. You kind of talked a little bit about the difference between subscriptions and configurations, but what about the difference between AWS Artifact notifications and how that works with the user notifications specifically?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thanks for asking. So Artifact notifications is actually powered by AWS user notifications. So AWS
Mhm.
user notifications is, it brings the notification experience in a more consolidated manner for our customers. They can manage their notifications across different services within the console. So we have leveraged AWS user notifications to send notifications to customers. However, our customers had a different persona. They are more, they needed a different user interface to set up notifications. So that's why we customized our workflows, our user experience, and made it tailored to our customers, for Artifact customers. But behind the scenes, all of our notification APIs are user notification APIs. So yeah.
Okay, that's really helpful context. And then I had one last question before maybe we move on to a demo to see how this feature IRL. So the last question that I had really was just about how this is going to help customers in their compliance journey moving forward. You said there's going to be a lot of new enhancements and things that are going to get rolled out to make customers' lives easier. Compliance, I would say, because I support a lot of highly regulated customers in the healthcare and life sciences industry, it can be a bit of a headache, right? Just making
Yeah.
sure that you have everything documented continuously as things change. So, what's the overall vision there, Diraj?
Yeah. Yeah. See, the overall vision is, there are so many different events that customers can get notified on, right? Right now, for the initial release, we are only focused on a subset of events. But then downstream, customers can get notified if we are making any changes to our compliance posture, things of that nature, right? So we can scale this. And another cool thing about, so we have laid the foundation, we have built the building blocks, and now customers can drive automation from the events that are created. So
Mm-hmm.
once, let's say, uh, downstream, customers could automatically download our audit reports or things of that nature, right? So a human doesn't need to do that, right? So things of that nature are possible. Those are all possibilities. So we will continue to evaluate where our customer needs are and keep launching more event types that will be useful for our customers.
Super cool. And I love that word that you said, Danny. Compliance is code. Very cool.
Yeah, I think that's the vision, right? We want to make people's lives
Yeah.
easier. And we already understand how to manage infrastructure as code, but when you start kind of figuring out how to take all of your compliance and security needs and make that more infrastructure tolerant, with like config files, little templates here and there, shipping those around, that makes it a lot easier for customers. So, and I like,
Yep.
Brian, that you were thinking from an event driven perspective on a lot of this, because I think that really gets at the heart of it and where customers want to drive these processes further. Like, nobody needs to be Dirage, this feature is great for that, but nobody wants to be like going and logging onto a console daily to check and see
Yeah.
if anything's been updated. That's not a good customer experience. So I'm glad
Yeah.
and very happy to see that we're solving this. And speaking of event-driven notifications, it looks like we have a puppy-driven notification in the background. Who's this?
This is Simba.
Simba. Oh my gosh. Hi, Simba. Well, he's
Still
a
in the
cutie.
show.
I'm glad he made a little appearance here. So,
Yeah.
okay, with Simba in tow, let's see this demo, Diraj.
All right. So here we go. So I'll just pull up AWS Artifact on the console. So this is our new feature, notification settings. I'll just click there. And right now I have already subscribed, so I'll just unsubscribe real quick. So the first step here, before we even go to the subscription of notifications, there is another step that is not visible here, but I'll just call it out. We need to set region hub, and that is set up in the user notification service in the notification hubs. So once user comes to our notification settings page for the first time, they will be prompted to go to the user notification service notification hubs page to set up their region hub. This helps customers keep their data within the region that they would like to keep. So from a data residency perspective. Right? Uh, so let's move on. Let's assume that the region hub is already set up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so notification settings, I'll turn on subscribe to artifact notifications, and then we can create a configuration. While creating a configuration, customer by default uh, we assume that customer would want or user would want notification on all agreements and all reports in artifact. Anything new comes up and they have access to it, they will get notified. So but if they would want to reduce that type of notifications they get, they can unselect the based on their preferences. So if they don't want agreement notifications, they can unselect it. If they don't want report notifications and just want agreement, that is possible. But for reports, we also provide more granular filters. So if they want notifications on a certain category of reports, let's say they are only interested in certifications and attestations, and even within that, they are interested in only ISO and uh, you know FINMA or C5. So that's possible as well. Um,
Now,
once this go ahead.
can I ask one question about that agreement section? Is that for like marketplace agreements? Like, can you talk a little bit about that agreement?
Yeah.
What agreements are we talking about right there? Yeah.
Yeah, so I can quickly show you actually. So here is an agreement. So AWS Australian Notifiable Data Breach Addendum or
Okay.
Business Associate Addendum. This basically is an agreement that customers can sign with AWS on demand. So, like business associated addendum, it's an agreement that is part of HIPAA regulation, and as part of HIPAA regulation, the customer needs to have an agreement with their vendors who support their critical workloads. So many customers have to have a business associated addendum signed with AWS. So this because of the scale at which we operate,
Mm.
it's just very difficult to have these agreements signed with customers one by one, right? So we
Mhm.
just scale that here. All right. Well, I actually have a configuration that had already created. So I'll just quickly show that. Uh, let's say sorry. Let me go back. Yeah. So I'll just show that. So agreement settings, we selected all agreements, all reports, delivery channels. Here, customers can select which email addresses they'd like to choose. Here, I just chose one, and this is, of course, an uh, a masked one. And then there is tagging. Customers can tag the configuration as a resource across other AWS resources for a collection that it becomes easier to search and filter their resources together. So these are the options that we provide to customers while setting up their configuration. Now, once a configuration is set up, customers will receive a verification email. So all the users whose email addresses are here, uh, let me actually go back and quickly show you. Uh, so uh, up to 20 email addresses are possible. So all of these users will receive a verification email. Once they verify their email address, then they are all set to receive notification uh, whenever a new document becomes available to them on Artifact.
Diraj, just a question here so that the folks that are listening don't think that there's a hard limit of 20 email addresses for this feature. That's just per configuration. Isn't that right?
That's right. That's
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
That's per configuration, and there are certain limits as well. We have uh, provided additional information on AWS Artifact FAQs for notifications. There are some quotas, and customers should definitely look into that.
Yeah.
We have the links available.
And as a matter of best practice as well for customers, they may want to create a list for those specific event notifications. So an email list that goes out for a specific configuration with the relevant team, right?
Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So now let's talk briefly. So we talked about how to create a notification configuration. Now let's talk about where customers will receive these notifications, right? So one place they will receive it is obviously in their inboxes, and the other place they will receive it is in AWS User Notification Center. So here. So this is AWS user notifications homepage, and this is a particular notification that I had received a couple days back when we uploaded a new report on Artifact. So this is how a
What I'm seeing
notification
is
would look like.
create
Yeah.
configuration. Is that where you want to be on the page or a different page?
Uh, so this this create configuration
Okay.
page is just to create the notification
Yeah.
settings, right? Where customers will receive the notifications, there are two avenues, right? So
Okay.
one is in their email inbox. So here is a view of how the notification in their email inbox will look like. Mm, this is just a screenshot, but because this is a broadcast, I don't want to show my email address inbox. But yeah, so
I
this is
gotcha.
how.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the second place they will receive notification is in the notification center, and this is a place where customers will get notifications across any AWS service that is using AWS user notifications. So,
Gotcha. And
so
Diraj,
yeah,
just a note from the chat and on my side too. We don't see that screenshot. Is there a way you can just present that so the viewers can see?
this screenshot. Oh,
We're only seeing the
got it.
AWS Artifact console page.
Oh, got it. Let me switch. Yeah, thank you for letting me know.
You bet.
All right. Yeah, so
Oh,
I'm sorry
perfect.
about that.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, so this is a screenshot of how a notification in the email will look like.
Perfect.
Right?
So you'll just get a notification, hey, there's a new report. It will talk about the series that it's associated with and the category.
Exactly.
Cool.
And then user can directly click on this link and it will navigate directly to the Artifact console with the specific report or agreement selected for them. All they need to do is just hit download.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then I think I also talked about user notification center, but that was not visible. So let me share that real quick.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
So this is, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. So this is AWS User Notifications Service Notification Center. And this is another place where customers can see the notification. And why this is important is that in the notification center, they can see notifications from different, many AWS services in a single view. They can manage their notification preferences here as well. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Nice.
I'll quickly show one last thing.
And while you're
Just
doing that, Jiraj, quick question from the commenters here. They're curious if you can also subscribe through the bell notification system in the console.
On this particular notification, no.
Okay.
Yeah, on this one, no. Users will need to come to the Artifact console and select their preferences in the console.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So if a user would click on the button in their email notification, this is how, once they navigate to the console, this is how it'll appear. The report is already selected for them. All they need to do is just hit download.
Mhm.
So yeah, with that, I mean, that's all I had to show for the demo. But if there are any other questions, I'm happy to answer.
Well, how can customers learn more about the service feature?
Yeah. So we have a What's New post that was launched. We have the user guide. So we have published a separate AWS documentation page on how to manage notifications in Artifact. We have also published FAQs on notifications specifically on this topic. So all of this material can help customers learn how to use the feature, what benefits they can get out of it. Like, it's basically a step by step. It is very granular, and customers can just follow it and they can set it up.
Awesome. Awesome.
I have some customers that are going to be interested in this already. So I'm happy that I got to see it firsthand from you, Jiraj, and I can point them to all the right places to get started with AWS Artifact event notifications.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. Well, it's been awesome having you here, Daraj. I definitely learned something new, and I'm super excited to start using this new tool. So,
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. It was really nice being on the show. Thanks.
all right.